la la la.
Hey guys, Martin here. Many apologies as always for being so delayed in posting this. I won't beat around the bush. In December, my father died, and I actually heard the news in the middle of editing a video. And so as a result, it took me a bit to work up the emotional fortitude to dive back in and finish it. I don't want to dwell too long on that, as amongst other things, it's real life stuff, and it shouldn't be something any of you have to worry about. I just wanted to acknowledge how long this took and that there was a reason behind it. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on to rewatching some classic 4Kidsified shonen anime in the form of Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode 3, Journey to the Duelist Kingdom. Always peculiar when they put a "the" before Duelist Kingdom, as most of the time they refer to it as plain old Duelist Kingdom. You don't hear me saying, "Oh man, my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament is the Battle City." Side note, I'm pretty sure the private island the tournament takes place on is just called Duelist Kingdom, which also smacks of weird because it's just a castle and nothing else. Nothing else there. Pretty Duelist Kingdom, if you ask me. Episode starts off with Yugi on the school roof. I guess this is a big trope in anime to have the students hanging out on the roof. I've seen it pop up enough times, but I gotta be honest, I always feel low-key stressed when it happens because I know if I had gone up on the roof of my school, it would have been a massive incident, and the teachers would have been furious with me. So part of me is just like, Yugi, get down from there. You're gonna be in detention, and you can't card game your way out of that. He probably could. Yugi is determined to get Grandpa back, no matter what it takes.
I'll beat Pegasus at his own game. Whatever that is.
Knowing Pegasus, it's probably the Barbie movie edition of Monopoly. So you'd better get practicing. Dibs on the tiny, misshapen Ryan Gosling. At Joey's home, we see him receive a VHS tape from his sister Serenity. Was this a common practice back in the day, sending each other video messages on VHS? I feel like it wasn't. The sheer effort it would take to not just record your message, but also rewind the video to the start of the message so the person receiving it doesn't have to. That's asking a lot. Hey, hurry up and invent social media here, man. I got like 30 videotapes from my sister in the last month. I'm running out of closet space. I still think it's weird that Joey has this thick accent and Serenity just sounds like Serenity. Like, I feel like I'm the only person who clocks or cares about that. So, yeah. He's from New York-ish and she is a girl. Joey remembers saying a tearful goodbye to Serenity as a Brooklyn baby, and we get to hear this amazing performance. At the game shop, Yugi receives an envelope from Pegasus filled with cards, which, as Yugi explains, is an invitation to the tournament at Duelist Kingdom.
It's an invitation to the tournament at Duelist Kingdom.
A tournament at Duelist Kingdom?
Yes, a tournament at Duelist Kingdom. Yugi says the boat's going to be leaving in 2 days and insists that he must go, as it's the only way to help his grandpa. Tristan can't believe Pegasus is forcing Yugi's hand like this. In retrospect, yeah, it is kinda shocking. I mean, it's not like Yugi would have outright refused if he were given an invite under normal circumstances, without kidnapping involved. Obviously, there's more going on here than meets the eye, but when I really think about it, Pegasus could have just asked Yugi to take part in the tournament. Now, Kaiba, there's a guy that won't pay attention to you unless you kidnap his only living family member, absolutely. Tristan very slowly realizes something.
Hey, Yugi!
Yes?
Check this out!
Yeah, go on, I'm listening.
According to this card...
Oh my god, will you spit it out already? Tristan points out that the winner of the tournament will receive $3 million in prize money, and Yugi is like, so what, who cares about money at a time like this? Secretly, Yugi doesn't care because he knows that much would only afford him like one Legend of Blue Eyes Dark Magician card. Back on the roof. Get down from there! Come on, I'm serious! Oh, my blood pressure! Yugi finds Joey deep in thought. Deep the way some puddles can be deep, I mean.
What's with you?
Nothing. I'm just thinking about a whole lot of stuff.
Yes, I too have depression. Joey mentions that Grandpa taught him all about the heart of the cards, so at least we have someone to blame for all of that bollocks. Yugi and Joey both reminisce about how they became friends, which is super exciting, because it gives the show a chance to visit events from the manga that otherwise wouldn't get addressed. I want to give special mention to Dan Green, genuinely bringing out Yugi's excitement and enthusiasm.
It was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen. As soon as I touched it, I knew it was special.
Yugi says he made a wish on the puzzle to get a real friend, which is hilarious because we see he was friends with Taya back then, so I guess she's just chopped liver as far as Yugi is concerned. The show briefly alludes to Joey and Tristan bullying Yugi, and Joey points out that he was just bullying Yugi so he'd be tough enough to stand up to the real bullies. Cool motive, still bullying. Yugi reminds Joey that he threw a piece of the Millennium Puzzle out the window into the school pool, which is probably the least upsetting thing a student has thrown in there in the past week or so. Then we get a glimpse of Ushio threatening Joey and Tristan, only for Yugi to stand up to him and receive a beating in their place. It's really sweet because Yugi has that childlike naivete of believing the puzzle gifted him friends because of a magic wish, but the truth is the magic came from within Yugi, and it was his selflessness that did it. This is a real defining moment of friendship that never comes undone, and it's a shame that it doesn't get entirely fleshed out in this anime, but at least we have this much. Ushio's eyebrows will of course return in Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds, where he goes from being a bully to being a security guard. So, the most lateral move you can imagine. Joey retrieves the Millennium Puzzle piece from the pool in a moment that shows his being willing to humble himself out of respect for Yugi. He doesn't know the value of the puzzle, but he knows its value to Yugi, and that's what matters. And of course, this is enough to complete the puzzle and give Yugi the magical Egyptian boyfriend he's been looking for all these years. Joey and Yugi agree that they are both the best of friends, and Yugi is sad Joey won't be able to come with him to Duelist Kingdom. But Joey implies he might have something up his sleeve. Then the next day, we see his plan was apparently to just walk onto the boat and make a huge stink about it. Important to note that this is the first real appearance of Chemo, aka the hair guy, and something about him saying, "Attention all duelists," struck me as so funny without any additional context that I decided he had to say that every time he appeared in the abridged series. One of the earliest running gags, and I think it's still chuckle-worthy. Also, the audience gets to play a fun game of spot the main character in this scene. Yugi prevents Joey from being forcibly ejected by giving him a star chip, which is apparently all you need to be allowed entry. Which means it's official. Joey gets a gold star for participation. Taya and Tristan sneak onto the boat in a far more subtle manner by reenacting the plot of Madagascar. Tristan is, of course, the fucking annoying David Schwimmer giraffe. On the deck, Joey and Tristan meet My Valentine, and let me just get this out of the way. Awooga, awooga, humana, 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 rough, 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 hubba, hubba, whoa, mama, bazongas, gazongas, jaw drop, wolf whistle, boyoyoyoyoyoing, etc. There, no more of that now. Mai gets all up in Yugi's face, buttering him up and complimenting him flirtatiously. Yugi responds the same way I do when a person shows interest.
You're famous, you know.
Thanks very much, I think.
Mai tells Yugi to drop Joey because he's fashion challenged, which is funny given that she's telling this to a kid who spends 7 days a week in his school uniform. And Joey is a simp in more ways than just the traditional sense.
Please, crush me.
Tristan's mouth goes to the Shadow Realm.
Shh, quiet, they'll hear you.
I don't care. He's still the best.
Rex and Weevil show their faces, and we learn that only the finalists from the last championship tournament get private rooms. Everyone else has to deal with sharing a space with everyone else. Seems a little absurd, given the size of the boat and all. Yugi congratulates Weevil on winning the Regionals, and Yugi is apparently oblivious to the character with the most evil-sounding voice this side of Mum-Ra from Thundercats. Weevil offers to tell Yugi about new rules that are being implemented in Duelist Kingdom, which is f***ing hysterical when you consider how rarely any rules are actually followed in the tournament. Also, Yugi is concerned about cheating, which is also very funny since it's the last time he'll ever make a fuss about that. Weevil scoffs at all the other kids who are actually trading their trading cards. And I advise getting a windshield if you're going to watch this episode because Weevil's spittle flies right off the screen.
Players here are swapping cards and strengthening their decks, getting ready for the big tournament.
Special mention should of course be made to James Carter Cathcart, a phenomenal voice talent who sadly has been forced to retire this year as he battles with throat cancer. He has voiced so many memorable characters, not least of which is Weevil Underwood himself. A lot of you might remember his Gary Oak or Meowth, but to me he'll always be synonymous with this insect duelist. Who else could go from sounding devilishly devious to saying something like,
"I'll catch you on the flip side,"
so effortlessly? A true legend. Elsewhere, My Valentine is complaining about trivial nonsense, like not having access to a shower. Hey, if it's good enough for real Yu-Gi-Oh tournament players, it's good enough for you. Rex Raptor arrives and drops the fact that he has his own private room, and Mai decides that tolerating someone who exclusively talks about dinosaurs is worth it for access to running water. Speaking of which, on the deck, Taya complains that she's cold, and Tristan tells her,
In another few hours, the sun will rise.
And really, as much as I've joked about this line and as confusing as it is, you've gotta feel bad for the script adapters who were told that the scene where Taya has to go pee cannot and will not be about Taya going to pee. Women do not pee! It's 4Kids 101. Tristan and Taya catch a glimpse of noted cryptid Rio Bakura, and Rex and Mai agree to duel one another for the private room. If Mai loses, she has to kiss Rex, but if the idea of a smooch from Mai sounds desirable, rest assured she says it in a totally non-sexual, fairy godmother kind of way.
If you win, I'll give you a kiss.
It's like getting flirted with by a storybook with pop-up images. Joey reveals he has traded and gotten some sweet cards, including Baby Dragon and Kunai with Chain, which are like the Joey cards, proving Weevil's dismissal of helping out other duelists wrong. Yugi reaches into his gold tin, which I hope was being kept in a safety deposit box throughout the rest of Duelist Kingdom because I don't remember seeing it afterwards, and gives Joey Time Wizard, which is cute because it's a wizard and Yugi likes wizards, so there's a little bit of Yugi in Joey's deck now. Mai blows Rex's mind by somehow knowing what order her cards are in when he cuts her deck. This suggests she's psychic, although it could just as easily imply that she just remembers the order of her cards. But that's boring and not sexy, so probably psychic, right? Weevil says goodbye to Exodia, forcing Joey to dive in after the cards in a manner that mirrors his diving into the pool to retrieve Yugi's puzzle piece. This time, Yugi dives in after him, and they're both rescued by Tristan and Taya, who pull them back up onto the deck, sans Exodia. Rex gets kicked out of what is now Mai's private room, and I noticed upon examination that she kicked him with her high-heeled boot. And it's like,
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
Joey explains his tragic backstory, telling the others that his parents are divorced and his sister, who lives far away, is going blind and needs money for an operation. It's dropped on everyone rather like a bombshell, and it clearly stuns Yugi that Joey was dealing with all of this on the inside. It's a powerful moment for multiple reasons, and it has the effect of making Yugi view Joey as an equal in this tournament. No longer is he just there as a supportive friend, he's there to be supported as well. In another few hours, the sun rises, and Yugi and the gang look to the future.
Look, the island!
That's the Duelist Kingdom.
It's just Duelist Kingdom. It's weird how you keep saying the. What's next? The Kyber Corp Grand Prix? Oh wait, that one works. Oh, good, you've got me questioning it now, thanks. And that's the end of the episode. We sure are on the journey to the Duelist, the Kingdom. Can't wait to get there. I want to say thank you as always to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. I know it's been a quiet few months with needing to go to England and be with my family, but your patience and understanding is always appreciated, and thank you dearly for your ongoing support. It allows me to keep living and making content. I'll see you next time for another Yu-Gi-Oh Duel Monsters rewatch, where the card games kick into overdrive and the rules get thrown out the window, much like the piece of the Millennium Puzzle that Joey chucked into the pool. Thank you.